I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Father Time Network. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Anthony, and on this platform I talk about the importance of being a father. I'm here to make being a father cool again. But before I start, let's get into that intro. So today I want to talk a little bit about the public school system. A fellow father reached out to me and expressed to me that he's facing criminal charges because his children missed 11 days of school, unexcused. The charge is called truancy. So I didn't know none of this. And any information that I receive, I'm going to pass it along to all the fathers, all the up-and-coming fathers, all the fathers that's trying to get custody of their children, all the fathers that have custody of their children. I'm going to pass information off to make you that much of a better father, right? So what happened was this man's grandfather was passing away. So not thinking about school, he told his family, like, look, pack y'all stuff, we going to Pop house. I think his grandfather lived about 8 to 7 hours away from him. And he wanted to spend, the last days of his grandfather's life with his grandfather. He was close to his grandfather. This is a man that fed him, nurtured him, taught him how to be a man. He wasn't thinking about school. He was thinking about, we're about to lose a member of our family. Pop, he's about to pass away. So before he passes away, let's spend the last days with Pop. We're not worried about school. We're not worried about bills. I'm not worried about work. We're solely worried about Pop, his grandfather. So I guess after 3 to 4 days, the school will reach out to you by email, text message. They may even give you a call. I think after the 6th to 7th day, they'll reach out to you by mail. They'll send a letter to you. And then after that, they get CPS involved. After 10 days, they get CPS involved. And some of these CPS people will get the police involved to escort them to your house, to pay you a visit, to see what's going on. By then, I think once CPS is involved, I think the charges are already set in place. So this man, not even knowing this, came home to the police at his house, attempting to take his children away from him. Now, keep in mind, the whole time the kids were out of school, this man was in communication with the teachers. He's calling them, telling them like, hey, the kids are going to be out of school. Is there any missing assignments that you can email me so they can get it done while they're out of school and bring it back once they return? He's in communication with the school. But I guess because there wasn't a formal letter sent to the school explaining why the kids were going to be out of school, they took drastic measures as if the kids were in danger. This is a dedicated father, a man of 3 kids. He takes care of all his kids by himself. And y'all are going to attempt to strip his kids away from him and put him in jail because they missed 11 days of school? Like, yo, man, I'm to this man, and he watches my channel. Brother, I'm sorry that you're going through this, for real. And I'm glad that you shared this with me to inform me. And I'm informing all the fathers that watch my channel of this because I had no knowledge of this. My daughter has probably missed way more than 3-4 days of school last year unexcused. I don't send them people no notes. If I want my daughter to stay home, I say, baby girl, you can stay home. She may come to me and ask me like, Dad, I ain't feeling good, or, can I stay home today? And depending on how I feel, or depending on where her grades are at, yeah, you can stay home. You got all A's and B's right now. You can miss a few days of school, you good. I'm her parent. I should have the right to tell my child, you don't got to go to school. Like, that's my child. It almost seems like, man, once your child is born and you sign that birth certificate and you get that social security number, you don't even really own your kid. A lot of people had their nose up in the air when Trump was aiming at the public school system. And now I understand why. Because what they're doing is wrong. And I don't know how much the public school system gets paid, if they do get paid per day, per year, for your child. But I'm pretty sure they're getting some money for your kid. So I believe that a lot of this has to do with money. If your child misses a certain amount of days, they may not be making a certain amount of money off your kid. That's what I believe. And I could be wrong. But deep down in my soul, I don't feel like I'm wrong. This has to do with money. And not only were they trying to take his children away from him, they were trying to put his kids on medication. Talking about, we're concerned about the mental health of your children. Missing school can lead to, what they say, something about isolating the kids. Like, these kids went to go spend time with their grandfather that's passing away. And now you want to take the kids away and put the kids on medication? Like, yo, man. Yo, I'm to the point, man, where if I could, I really would homeschool my kids. And I understand why Trump was pushing people to homeschool their kids. Because I think he was talking about giving like a $3,500, $4,500 tax credit to people that homeschool. I understand why now. And if I could, listen, I'm really thinking about talking to my lady and seeing if we can homeschool my kids. I got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. They will be going to school soon. And man, if I can homeschool them, if we can find a way, I would be leaning more towards that. Because it seems like once you put your child in public school, you have no more control. They have more control over your kids than you do. There was one time, he said he went to the school to bring his son some Chipotle. His son loves Chipotle. So he was going to surprise his kid and take his kid some Chipotle. They told him he can't even bring outside food into the school. Like, I can't even pop it back to school and bring my child a meal. My child is forced to eat what you supply. And half that food in them schools be trash. Yo, man. To all the fathers, man, any information that I can deliver to help you be that much of a better father, any information that I can deliver to help you, keep custody of your kids or gain custody of your kids, I'm going to deliver it. And this is one of them deliveries right here. If you have your child in the public school system and you decide to allow your child to stay home or take a few days off, make sure you send the school a letter so those absences can be excused. Most of the time, a good reason to excuse the absence is most of the time, a good reason for the absentee to be excused is your child was sick. Maybe if he even would have wrote a letter and, explained the situation about his grandfather passing away, that would have been excused. And let me go back a little bit. This is his grandfather. This is his children's great-grandfather. Okay? I made that mistake earlier on in the video, but I'm not going to go all the way back and, this is their great-grandfather, his children, this is his grandfather. So, again, if you have your kids in public school, man, make sure you write them a letter. Anytime you letting your child miss school, so those absentees can be excused and you not facing no criminal truancy charges. This is the Father Time Network, and I'm here to make being a father cool again.